Well, good morning and welcome back to another video. Today I am back down on my local club water. So I had a little bit of, well, my plans changed basically, which freed me up a bit of time, and I thought I'd make the most of that time by getting the rods out. So it's about 10 days later from the last video, and I think I can officially say it's now winter. There was frost on the car and on the ground this morning, so it's definitely a lot colder. Last week when we were here, I think it was about 11 degrees, where today it was freezing. So where I am is I've came to a part of the lake which has a forum for doing fish in the winter. I've got a lovely snaggy margin on my right hand side and it gives me access to open water. So I'll head down to the swim and I will get the rods sorted and get them out, and I'll speak to you in a bit. That is the rods out and we are finally fishing. It's definitely a lot colder this week than what it was a week and a half or so ago. I've definitely had to have wrapped up this morning. There's a bit of frost on the ground and on the car, but say we're out in the bank and we're fishing. So I've just seen one show out in open water, which is a nice sign, so I might have to reposition one of the rods, but we'll see how things go. I've got one rod up my right hand margin. I'll spin you around and show you a little bit later on. It is quite snaggy, that margin, so I'm locked up, and the other two are just fished out in open water. So to begin with, all I've put on is little mesh bags. I'm just fishing for liners at the minute, and then once we can locate them we can maybe put a wee bit of buoy in, but at the minute I'm just fishing for a bite, trying to find the fish. Right, so the right hand rod had pulled up and is went, so we're off the mark already. Now it was absolutely tiny. I can't remember if I mentioned it before on the last video, but where I am is a mixed fishery, so at the end of the day we are going to have to wade through quite a lot of the smaller fish before we get through to the ones we want. I have set myself a bit of a target to catch one of the better fish that are in here. So at the minute, like I mentioned, I've only put 3 wee mesh bags out there for now, given that the temperature is a lot colder than what it was last time we were here. I'll just go in my little bags just to see what's happening first. Now, as I look out in front of open water, I am starting to see a little bit of activity. They're starting to sheet up a little bit, so I'll keep my eye on that. It's not a million miles away off my left-hand rods, within a rod length or two anyway. I say I've got 2 rods out in open water and my right hand rod's locked up along the snaggy margin here, and I haven't went too tight to that either because it is quite nasty down there. But yeah, I think I'll get the kettle on, have a coffee, and I'll chat to you in a bit. I've just seen quite a few fish starting to show out in open water, so I'm just going to redo one of the rods and drop one on top of them. Just putting on a little mesh bag. Right, and let's get this out there on top of them. That's looks good. Right, just thought I would show you where I've got these rods today. So my right hand rod is up along this margin here. As you can see, it's quite snaggy and I'm about 6 foot off them. The right hand rod's literally just centre shot there. My middle rod, I've got it straight out in front of me in open water. And my left, I've actually repositioned that because I've seen quite a few fish show out this sort of direction. Again, about 40 yards out in open water. I have put a little bit of bait out now over the right hand and middle rod. Not much, just a light scatter and a boilie, just to see if we can make something happen, as they do like their food on here. So we'll give that an hour or so, and if nothing happens, we'll maybe make another change or cast the rods about to see if we can find them. Probably another one of them little comments. Oh, it's not, it's a mirror. Come out. Are we ready? Right, so the left hand rod that I repositioned onto those showing fish had went. It was actually part of a double take. Just as I netted this one, I had a wee really tiny one, which you would have seen. It was a lovely little scaly one. But just to give you an idea of the fish that I'm trying to wade through to get through to those doubles. But I say it's a bite, it's just good to be out fishing, and it's definitely better than being in work. So I'll get this one back, get the 2 rods redone and back out there, and I'm sure we'll be able to nick a few more before it's time to head on. Right, just thought I would give you a little bit of an update from how this morning has been going. So I've had 3 fish, and 2 of them have been absolutely tiny. Well, all 3 of them have been small. It's definitely a lot quieter this time around than what it was when I was here on the last video. There's a big difference in temperature, saying that it was about 11-12 degrees when I was here last, whereas there was a frost on the ground this morning. You can definitely feel it. I think winter has definitely arrived. So I have made a couple of changes since that last session. So thinking about what I was doing last time, I was fishing small wafters as hook baits, and because of the amount of small fish in here, I want to avoid them as much as possible. So I have kept one of them smaller wafters on the left hand rod. It's on a pink pearl. Those pink pearls have done me so many fish on here in the past. The previous 2 winters, they've put a lot of fish on the bank for me, so it'd be stupid not to put one of them on. But my middle and right hand rod, I've changed them over to snowman rigs. I'm just fishing a 15mm bug bottom bait, and they're both topped off with 12mm bug pop-ups. One's on a pink and one's on a white. And again, I put a little scatter and a boilie over the top. Definitely not as much bait as I'd put in on the previous session. I've maybe pinged about 20 baits over 2 of the rods. Say the right hand rod, it's received a little bit of bait and it's done 2 fish. The middle, again, I put a spread of boilie over the top of that. Not a lot, like I just mentioned, but it hasn't done anything. And the left hand rod's done 1 fish, which was cast to those showing fish. There was a few fish shown this morning. There was a little bit of a window where they were quite active. It's definitely settled down. Although saying that, I did just see one show along the right hand margin not so long ago. So I think what I'm going to do now is finish this coffee, and I will chat to you a little bit later on. Right, okay, so I've just tied up a spare rig ready to go, and thought I would just take the opportunity to show you what that is. So I said earlier on I'd switched to a snowman presentation just to try and avoid the smaller fish, and this should I say is what I'm using. Hopefully that's in focus. So you can see that the snowman presentation is mounted onto a curved shank style hook on a hook ring swivel, just stopped with a little hook or a hook bait. It's got a kicker on the end, and the braided section is just it's actually a loop, so I can loop it on the end of the fluorocarbon boom. It's all gone a little bit quiet, unfortunately. After putting that last fish back, I haven't really seen much. I've still received the odd liner, so the fish are still there, they're still about, and there's a liner just as I'm speaking now. I don't know if you heard that on the middle rod, but it's definitely slowed off. That cold snap has definitely made a bit of a difference, I think, in the fishing. The fish were active this morning. It seemed to have been a short window where we had 3 bites fairly quickly, one after the other, to be honest, and then it's just went a bit quiet since that. I did lost one. I say lost one, I got done. The rod went, the bobbin pulled up, dropped down, pulled back up again, but when I lifted the rod there was nothing on the end. I guessed it was one of those tiny little carp that are in here. So I have a couple of hours left, so I'll probably sit it out a bit longer just on the chance we pick something else up. It's definitely getting a little bit colder now. There was a fish there. I can't be far off that middle rod. Starting to bubble up a little bit too. Maybe there is a chance for another one. One thing that I've learnt very quickly trying to do these little videos is it's difficult to try and film yourself. I feel like I may be trying to rush it too much because I'm trying to get the rods out as quickly as possible because I haven't got a lot of time, but at the same time I'm trying to capture everything. But I suppose the more I do it, the better I will get at it, and the more I'll learn, especially with the camera. There's that many different settings on these cameras. It's just learning how to use it and expose everything, make sure everything's in focus. But yeah, I'll learn as I go, I suppose. As I say, I've got probably a couple of hours left before I have to shoot on. Like I said, I did see a couple of fish over that middle rod, so I mean, there's a chance of another bite. Well, good morning, and I say good morning because what has been a few seconds for you has been a week for me. The plan was to head to another venue, but the weather continued to be very cold and there's been a lid on a few of the lakes I was looking at. Now, last night was a lot milder, so I dropped back down on the local club water, and I'm going to continue on where I had left you. Well, I am off to another quick start just like last week. Had a double take straight away, this one being the bigger of the two, a lovely mid-double common. I've had another two since. I have a little mirror in the net, so I will get this one back and show you that one. Right, I've just put that lovely mid-double common back, and this is the fourth fish of the morning. Now this one is a lot smaller, but it's another bite all the same. So I'll slip this one back quickly. I think it's time to get that kettle on. This morning has been absolute chaos and we're struggling to keep a rod in the water, and I really have lost count, but we've just had another one. I've lost one shortly before this as well, but we're still getting bites. Say the forecast for today is heavy rain, so I really don't know how often I will get the camera out, but we'll get this one back and it's really looking good for a few more. Okay, I'm gonna call it a day. We've just had a break in the weather. Now today we've had a lot of rain, so unfortunately I haven't got the camera out as much as I would have liked, but this morning's been absolute chaos. But at least I did get that mid-double on camera this morning. The only thing I'm annoyed about is the audio cable wasn't plugged in, but I will see how that is once I get it on the computer once I get home. But anyway, I just wanted to say thanks for watching and I will catch you on the next one.